I think we take a lot of pride in not trying to pretend to be all 22 guys on this channel.
Right.
But I look over, and we're at the airport waiting for our flight, and Mike's crunching tape, getting all 22, looking at where DeForest Buckner has been lining up and where the key is for the Bills' offensive line. Next level guy. This guy's eating tape, crunching film. Unbelievable.
You watch him. I don't know the schemes. I don't know the blocking assignments. Not in the building. But I watch this guy and I go, this guy's still that player. Hey everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris, Mike Catalana. Along with Dan Fates, we are here in Indianapolis. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We always appreciate it.
Lucas Oil Stadium is right there.
Yeah, a lot of people around here. They had a marathon today. Both
Yes.
Dan and I ran it in just over nothing.
I know where you're going with that.
Zero chance
Yes.
of us taking
No
part in a
marathon
marathon. Not happening.
Place
All
is
right.
bustling, though.
Let's talk about some roster moves today. Before we get to the 5 players to watch for the game on Sunday, let's talk about the roster moves. We'll start with the IR move. Balin Spector, a guy who's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's been a starter when they needed him with with injuries to the linebackers, in particular Terrell Bernard. What do you make of this?
It's another calf injury. He has had these before in the past. It occurred earlier this week. Bad enough that they have to send him on IR. A already thin position for the Bills. They've tried working out safeties at linebacker and trying to get everybody they can. This is a shot to a position group, Mike, that is already thin to begin with.
For Sunday's game, it's Buffalo Joe, right? That's got to be at least ready to get some time.
Absolutely. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
He's not only going to have a massive role now on special teams because that's what Balin does really well. That's his main responsibility. But now Joe's absolutely going to have to be that third linebacker.
All right, let's talk about the moves made on Saturday that we know is going to impact the roster on Sunday.
They elevated Tyrell Shavers as well as KJ Hamler from the practice squad to the active roster. We already knew that Keon Coleman was out with the wrist. He was at practice but never really participating. He did have a soft cast on his wrist. Another guy that is playing with a cast is Amari Cooper. Didn't play last week with the wrist injury as well. He's been limited this week. He talked about that it wasn't a grip strength issue, more of a catching with this soft cast on. Not a good sign for Cooper playing when you elevate 2 more wide receivers.
Yeah, I would say the chances are very slim that he plays in this game. So it's going to be different. That gets us to the 5 players to watch. And it's a guy you were talking about with me before we even knew that both of these guys were going to get elevated. Who's one of your 5?
We were talking about it as we were traveling down here as one of the guys I wanted to point out. Without Keon, we talked about big bodies outside. That's something that Keon has started to excel in. Everybody says, oh, he'd be great in the slot. That's great. You need somebody on the outside. I'm watching Matt Collins this game. Had a touchdown against Miami, as well as Josh looking his way late on that last drive back-to-back times. I think they're starting to gain a little bit of momentum. And not only that, Mike, Mac, say what you want about what he's done. He's drawn a lot of flags.
Yeah.
Pretty good actor. One way or another, the personality of if he's not catching the ball, he's gotten decent separation, but he has been able to draw flags, which has helped the offense.
I think he's made a few big plays for them in his role, which has become, 4th, 5th receiver, wherever it is. Look, he's given them more than they got from Gabe Davis last year for the money and the position he was in. To get this out of Matt Collins, who to me is more of like that should be 4th or 5th receiver role. He's really higher than that on Sunday, but I think they've gotten a lot for what that type of player is usually going to bring them.
Great run blocking.
Yeah.
Better run blocker than Gabe, and we joked around. It's kind of like a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's version of Gabe Davis. A lot cheaper, but is still providing touchdowns, is providing a deep target. He hasn't connected on many, but we could say the same thing for that for the other guy.
And look, in this kind of game, he's got a more prominent role now.
Yeah.
He has come through. You love that one pass over the middle to Matt Collins.
Yeah.
Into the end zone.
Josh
loves that throw.
Yeah.
And Max had a touchdown on it. He's gone to him a few times with it. They may be looking for that in the red zone. They brought him in because they thought he could help in the red zone, and he has at least been effective there.
I think there's just been more opportunities with Cooper being out, now with Keon being out, as well as Cooper. I would see an increased opportunity for Mac here on Sunday in Indianapolis.
Yeah, and you can think about other players too. Certainly, Shakir.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a little more out of Dalton Kincaid, just because they're going to need just volume of catches with a couple of guys
I
out.
just saw a tweet that the Colts allow the 31st the most receiving yards to opposing tight ends.
So 31 being bad.
31 being bad. I was
Yes.
trying to say fewest. That would be good. They allow the most to tight ends.
Yeah.
So again, where we've talked about Dalton Kincaid in here a lot, and maybe he's 1B of players to watch, but this could be a game that they need Dalton to break out. I know we had mentions in comments saying that Dalton hasn't been, I said, most disappointing when we did our podcast earlier this week on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. And people were like, no, he's been perfectly average. That's my point. They need a 7 for 70 and a touchdown game from Dalton. This 4 for 40 isn't getting enough production for what you need, especially now Dalton with guys like Amari and guys like Keon
out of the game. Yeah. All right. Well, you know the Bills can run the ball.
Yep.
And so let's just focus on James Cook. And I think, while Ray Davis has done a really nice job, and I think both of them, they're going to get a chance, I think we get back to a big Cook game coming up in this one.
Yeah, especially because of the wide receivers. We've now talked about it at length here already. This could be a game where you give James Cook 25 carries, Ray Davis gets another 10, and Joe Brady, what he has done well in his time here in Buffalo is have a ground and pound attack. Cook's been good, hasn't really popped in a few weeks. This could be the week to get back. But Mike, they would have to control somebody in that game, or I'll go this way, James Cook needs help from some big guys up front.
Yeah, let's start with the guys, and I'm looking at this because it's the interior of the offensive line. It's a guy I think has played very well in McGovern, and he's got David Edwards next to him, so we're going to call him
Connor McDavid.
Why not? Doesn't that work for the inside? Look, they have played well. I think the interior of this line has been good. I think the entire offensive line has played well. It brings us to a guy who plays for the Colts who can wreck a game. He's only played a limited amount of time. We're going to combine the two there because we're talking about this interior of their line.
Yeah.
DeForest Buckner is a guy who can wreck a game.
Yeah.
He is a guy. And maybe he hasn't been. He's had some injuries. He's had some things. But you watch the tape, and it's funny. We were in the airport today. I am watching him, and I'm like, this guy still can blow up offensive lines.
I think we take a lot of pride in not trying to pretend to be all 22 guys on this channel.
Right.
But I look over, and we're at the airport waiting for our flight, and Mike's crunching tape, getting all 22, looking at where DeForest Buckner has been lining up and where the key is for the Bills' offensive line. Next level guy. This guy's eating tape, crunching film. Unbelievable.
Here's what I think you can get from that. I am just watching an individual player, and as, guys on the team will say, one man whooping another man. You watch him. I don't know the schemes. I don't know the blocking assignments. Not in the building. But I watch this guy, and I go, this guy's still that player.
Yeah.
He's been limited. He played 75% of the snaps last week.
Yeah.
He can wreck a game defensively. So let's see what happens in terms of what they do.
And Buckner's a big part of this defense. What they do well in their wins is take the ball away. And if this is going to be a key for the Bills, which they are 4-point favorites and all of these things, I don't believe in necessarily look-ahead spots. I'm more of the emotional letdown guy after a big win. But if the Bills want to win this game, they can't turn the ball over. That is what the Chiefs do, or that's what the Colts have done in their games they've won.
Well, even last week, that was their only score was on defense, only touchdown they got in the game. So that's the case. We're going to talk about the Colts offense, and I'm going to start with the Bills defense for that.
Yeah.
I want to see more out of Ed Oliver. I just talk about a guy blowing up a game. I still think Ed's a very good player. He is paid like a great player. They think of him as a great player. They need better run defense.
Yep.
I think it starts with Ed up front.
Well, if we combined Connor McDavid, how about Daquan Oliver? Like, we need something out of those guys. If this turns into a game, and we even heard it. It was funny. When Quentin Jefferson spoke this week, he goes, talking about scheme, and he goes, well, it is just about a man whooping a man. And I was like, Daquan's effect is there. We just need to see more play on the field.
Yeah.
We know what Jonathan Taylor has done in the past. We know that if this is what this Colts team wants to do, is impose their will in the running game. He was really good when they had Anthony Richardson at quarterback, not as good with Joe Flacco, but I think this is what they're going to want to try and attack.
Well, that's where we get to Jonathan Taylor. He's still really good. I don't know if he's physically the same as he was.
No.
But, hearing from some people in Indianapolis talking about the way he plays, typical of I'll use a Dan thing, an analogy of a pitcher. Maybe the fastball isn't quite what it is, but he learns how to pitch more than just throw. He had the speed. He had the power. It's down a little bit. He's become a more patient runner and a smarter runner. They've had all kinds of changes. They lost Kelly, their center. They like the young kid that's going to play in the game on Sunday. But it is different.
Tape.
It is different for this team. But if I'm the Colts, I look at what the Bills' struggles have been defensively, and I say we are going to run. Shane Steichen is not a guy who normally goes with a quarterback who is basically a statue back there.
Typical
he likes
pro
mobile.
style. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he had Jalen Hurts, took him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
With Richardson, did not throw the ball well, but their run game was good.
Yep.
They were good on third down because Richardson would make plays.
Yeah.
I will be fascinated to see how he adjusts, because if I'm playing the Bills, yes, I want to get Flacco going, throwing the ball.
Yeah.
But it starts with being able to run it.
It starts with running, and then you open it up to the passing game and Flacco. And again, this Colts defense isn't great. The Bills offense has scored 30-plus points in 3 straight games. The Colts' best defense against Josh Allen could be to keep him on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Like muddy this game up and control the things on the ground. So if that's the only formula I see for the Colts winning, is constantly wearing down the Bills' defensive line that has struggled against the run. And again, I know people have talked about it, and you're probably wanting to comment in right now. Well, the Bills last week gave them the running attack. That's fine. Now, this week, your goal has to be taking it away and making Joe Flacco, without Michael Pittman, beat you. So that's why Jonathan Taylor has got to be the focus in this spot.
Were you going to say James Taylor?
I was going to say, I've said James Cook. I've said the Colts were the Chiefs. We're all over the map. But that's what stands out to me. So I just want to see that kind of line play in this game.
The Pittman thing is interesting for them because he's been playing hurt. They have Dobbs who can really play.
Yep.
They have some talent.
Downs.
Dobbs is...
We're all over the place.
My gosh.
This is good.
It was a long flight. Taylor Swift was here. I don't know when she played. She's still up on the couple of the buildings here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is she... Oh, hey. Hey, T. How's it going? She's over there. She's waving to you. Yeah. Anyhow, she was here. They ran a marathon here, but it's football. I'm looking forward to it. I like coming to Indy. I saw the scooters.
There was a chalk outline when we went past the scene of the crime.
Of Dan's body from months ago at Combine. How excited are you? Well, we're recording this in the afternoon here. I didn't have my watch on. It's got to be...
We're 4 hours away.
Less than that, 3.5.
Yeah. No, it's 8:30 Resi.
You said 8.
It's an 8:30 Resi.
Oh, we got to get a snack beforehand.
Yep.
I'm hungry. We're going Elmo's and maybe scooter back. No, we got our hotel's too far away.
Yeah, it's way too far.
Yeah, it's too far
Wouldn't
away.
make it.
Could scooter around here. Anyhow, all right. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. Benford back. Seems all signs go. This is a game where, again, you don't want to look ahead at the Chiefs. Take care of your own business. Here, Jonathan Taylor had 5 touchdowns back when they played in 2021.
Yeah.
Yep. Had 180 yards. Like, I understand all those things. Take him away in this game.
Yeah, but just don't let them dominate the game. They're going to get yardage.
Yep.
If they run the ball, they're going to get yardage.
But I think this is a fast game. I think this is a game of fewer possessions, and the Bills have to be better early in downs. Like, I know we just kind of joked around, but like that was the other key that I was trying to get to, is that the Dolphins never had a 2nd and 12.
Yes.
They never had a 2nd and 10. It was very few. There was all 2nd and 3s. That's the game the Colts want to play. They want to take that formula and that model that the Dolphins did and try and use it again here today.
All the other guys got to help. Daquan, Austin Johnson, who knows? Jordan Phillips, right? Hey, you brought him in here.
Yeah.
You're going to test him out. That's the thing. They're going to see if those guys can give you something in a game. We will see. All right, we're looking forward to it. It should be fun. Dinner especially.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
We'll be here. Jenna will be back at studio.
Yep.
She's doing the TV end of it, and then we will be having the post game on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody, and we'll see you in Orchard Park Wednesday if you can make it. Wayland Brewing.
Yep.
Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Come earlier. We'll be there. We'll say hello. We're going to record the podcast there. All right, that's going to do it for us. For Dan Fates, I'm Mike Catalano. Once again, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Dan's getting ready for dinner, so am I.
Excited. It
we
was
will
breakfast,
be telling you.
and then I was just going to
That's it.
let it ride.
He's ready to go. And we will see you next time on Buffalo Plus.